Roy in Super Smash Bros. Melee is terrible. Ranked 21st out of 26th on the most recent tier list, and in Melee that means there's almost no hope for him. He has a good dash dance, disjointed hitboxes, a great grab range, and an up throw that allows him to chain grab Fox and Falco, two incredibly good characters, as well as a very good down tilt that leads into the chain grab. You may be thinking, Kezi, this all sounds good, surely at the very least okay, right? Oh my sweet summer child. Let's talk about Roy's negatives and compare them to his source character, Altair's very own pretty boy prince, Marth. Starting with Roy's initial dash is set at 1.4 in comparison to 1.5 for Marth. Okay, so that's his initial dash, it's a little slower, so what? Surely his run speed's faster, right? I mean, well, look at him, all hyper, constantly moving around in his animation, constantly yelling. Well, unfortunately for you dear viewer, Roy's run speed is set at 1.61, whereas Marth's is 1.8. This means it's harder for him to follow up in comparison to Marth. In addition to this, Roy's jump squat is a frame slower at 5 frames, which hurts his out of shield game, and due to Roy being a fast faller, his jumps and recovery are worse. Roy's attacks are the most effective at the hilt of the blade. Well, mostly. I'll get into that later. This is an inverse to Marth, whose attacks are most effective at the tip of the blade. So assuming that their hitboxes were merely inversed, Roy would already be worse, because he would have worse effective range. But it's a lot worse than that. All his moves have less knockback, are weaker, and are slower to start up, and have more end lag. So a simple combo for Marth is either way harder, has a smaller percent window, or is simply impossible for Roy. His faster falling speed is both a blessing and a curse. It allows him to land faster with an aerial and have better vertical endurance, but this comes at the cost of being easy to combo for a majority of the cast. And also, Roy isn't someone like Falcon, or hell, even Peach in terms of weight. My boy is just a scrawny 15-year-old, he's gonna get sent flying. The balance changes will be split into two parts, Roy's overall attributes and his moves. After that, we'll see how they compare to Marth, and at the end I'll show off a few combos to demonstrate what this guy can do. Before we begin, I'd like to quickly go over my design philosophy and my inspirations for my balance changes. They were Smash 4 Ultimate PM Roy, as well as of course Melee Marth. And finally, this may be a little controversial, but Melee Falcon. I see Roy as a fast and powerful sword fighter who can scrap in close quarters, but can also play at a bit of a distance like Marth, albeit a bit worse, but gets comboed harder in exchange for being faster and hitting harder. FYI, Roy's default costume will represent Vanilla Melee and my custom skin will represent this new and improved Roy. Roy's initial dash and run speed are a lot faster, with his initial dash going from 1.4 to 1.65, and his run speed going from 1.61 to a flat 2. His base and additional air acceleration have gone from 0.02 for the former and 0.03 for the latter, to 0.03 for the former and 0.06 for the latter, while his maximum airspeed will be increased from 0.9 to 1.12. His shield side has also been increased, from 11.75 to 12.75. It's better at covering his body, while still not being fully capable of doing so. I mean, I'm not trying to create the next Brawl Meta Knight over here. His aerials have all seen massive cuts to their landing lag. Nair and fair have gone from 20 frames down to 12, back air and up air have gone from 24 and 18 frames respectively down to 15 and 10 frames, while his down air has been dropped from 32 frames down to 24. And finally, his recovery has been improved by increasing the height he gets from his side B from 1.2 to 2, and reducing the landing lag while using it from 1.8 to 1.4, and his up B having its drift improved from 0.6 to 1.5, landing lag being reduced from 30 frames down to 10, his distance travelled from 1.1 to 1.3, and his gravity being reduced from 0.06 to 0.03, and slightly increasing his max fall speed after use, 1.8 to 2. Which allows his fast fall to not be as kneecapped as before. The boosted distance and reduced gravity combined with this Roy's better airspeed makes his recovery a lot better. Although, to balance this all out, along with all the balance changes I'm about to go into, this move has been slowed down by 0.7 times. This was done, as said before, in order to balance all the changes I'm about to go into. This will be true for all of Roy's moves, but they have all been sped up and their hitboxes have been extended to reach the tip of the blade. Since I've changed a lot about Roy, the full changelog will be in the description, as well as a link to download the mod. Starting off with jab. The startup has been left untouched with active frames going from 4 to 7 to now 4 to 10, along with less landing lag and increased damage going from 6 for the sweet spot and 3 on the sour spot to now being 7 on the sweet spot and 4 on the sour spot. Angles as well as knockback have been adjusted to make jab a better combo starter. Remember how I said Roy's attacks are the most effective at the hilt of the blade? Well, mostly. I'll get into that later. Well, down tilt's the perfect example of this. In vanilla melee, the sweet spot is actually located on Roy's arm and not the hilt of his blade. As you can see here, I've exaggerated it, so it's easier to see. So yeah, Roy has to get even closer than what you may think. Startup and active frames have been reduced from 8 to 10 frames to now 6 to 8. The ending lag has been reduced and the sweet spot damage has been reduced, but the sour spot damage has been increased. So 12 for the sweet spot and 6 for the sour spot, now becoming 11 for the sweet spot and 8 for the sour spot. Nair has seen end lag decreases, its active frames have been improved by a few, and its damage has been increased. Part 1 of the move now has 75 fixed knockback to allow it to combo better into the second part of the move, and Part 2's angles have been changed. 100 to 90 for the non-sour spot, and 90 to 80 for the sour spot. Fair's ending lag has been decreased. Starting from frame 9, it's been decreased by 1.4 times. Its active frames have been changed, going from 5 to 7 to now 3 to 8. And its damage increase, instead of 8 and 5 for the sweet spot and sour spot respectively, it has now been increased to 12 and 9 respectively. As well as knockback increases on all hitboxes. Back air has seen its end lag reduced and its knockback and damage increased, which makes it a great kill move, sort of in the vein of Ultimate Roy. Up air's increased knockback on both the sweet and sour spot has made it a way better juggle tool. And finally, his down air doesn't get you killed anymore due to reduced ending lag, and have also made all the hitboxes spike instead of only the sweet spot in Vanilla Roy's kit, which is only a shitty meteor. And here's all the other changes I've made to Roy's kit that I didn't have time to cover for the sake of pacing. Now, comparing him to Marth, Roy is now a lot faster with better frame data, while still having a worse recovery. Overall, I'd say we'd successfully made Roy great. He's a character that can take stocks just as easily as he can lose them. I know that this is a little different to what I usually make, but hey, I'm talking about a Fire Emblem character, so that still counts, right? Anyway, like and subscribe, and now it's time for a little showcase of what this new and improved Roy can do.